Welcome, Internets. This is Around the Cinema, a news show that covers movie news you may not otherwise know of. I am joined here with Ryan Griswold, Paul Suda, and Jamie Parslow, and I'm Michael Schatz, your host. Our first topic of the evening is the box office totals. The new movies of the week were A Walk in the Woods, Transporter Refueled. Transporter Refueled being our big blockbuster of the weekend, came in 5th place. What do we think of these numbers?
Got War Room, Straight Outta Compton, A Walk in the Woods, then Mission Impossible, then Transporter, then No Escape, then Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I'm happy to see that, though. I haven't seen A Walk in the Woods yet, but I'm happy to see that a movie about two old guys, going on an adventure through the Appalachian Trail, domestically was able to outdo a sequel that no one asked for.
I haven't heard about that. What is that?
Walk in the Woods is a movie where...
it's a Bill Bryson book. This guy actually did, for real, try to walk the Appalachian Trail.
Which is one of the hardest trails to hike.
Why haven't I heard about this? It's crazy.
Robert Redford plays that guy, and he calls up his friend Nick Nolte, who plays Nick Nolte, this crazy old guy, like, yeah, sure, let's do this.
That trail goes, if I remember correctly, from northeast all the way down to Georgia.
Yeah,
yes.
It's from...
Well, they start in the south, because they basically, to try to do it all in, 1 year, people actually do this, and it takes them 5 months, if in fact, they can do it. They start in the south because they can start in March or so, and then by that time they're finishing up in Maine, which is terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, when you're finishing up, you have to go fast enough where you can finish before it gets snowy and you die in the snow in Maine. Right. And Bill Bryson, for real, it's his narration of him actually doing this, and they didn't do it all in one go, but they did a big chunk, and then they take a little time off, and then do another chunk and take some time off. But the thing is, Bill Bryson was pretty out of shape when he started doing it, but his friend who came with him, just kind of tagged along, just volunteered for this. His friend was in shitty shape. So Nick Nolte's playing the guy.
Perfect. He's literally decomposing in front of our eyes.
Imagine Nick Nolte. I haven't seen the movie yet either. I just know what the book says. It's him kind of making it, trudging along and going into Zen mode because it's just exhausting. You're walking step to step.
The idea of Nick Nolte just traveling,
just swearing and trying to walk up a hill.
Just imagine him constantly drunk, going through the woods and yelling at every tree that comes his way. That's my favorite. Visual.
Rolling out of a tent because a bear's in the other end of the tent.
Scaring the bear.
But here's the thing, old people love this shit, and old people are a big audience that
no one ever accounts for.
Gets neglected. Yeah, and I think that's silly because old people will watch stuff that they like or things that they think actually applies to them.
But guys,
hopefully the studios pay attention to this.
War Room.
I get Christian films. I get why they make money. Hey, look, you've got a demographic, and those people they will actually I remember I was on the football team, and they actually made our entire football team, which were made up of atheists and Muslims and so on and so forth, all in there, and they made us go to church, and they locked the doors, and they made us pray, and they said that we should have been saved and all this other nonsense or whatever. But that's the kind of stuff that these people do all the time. So you have to understand, hey, look, we are you make a Christian film, you're all going to come see this, and if you don't come see this, guess what? You'll probably go to hell. That kind of a scenario, because it's all evangelical kind of scenarios. I get why it makes money. The problem is that it made money, or that it was produced in the first place.
But to give the Christian movies kind of a defense, both Heaven is for Real and Son of God did phenomenally well last year in the box office.
So I've never heard of these Christian films, but I'm aware that they've made money. But why did they make money if they're not at
Heaven is for Real actually looked good.
That's sure. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But my question is is it pushed as a Christian film, or is it pushed so Passion of Christ? We all know Passion of Christ was more of a cinematic thing than it was anything else.
It was legitimately well made.
Right, and the same goes for pretty much
we just defended Mel Gibson, people.
We did, sadly. The idea though is that a Bible movie is going to make money. No matter what, or is it just based on how well it looks, or what is it? Is it?
When you make a movie like Exodus, God and Kings, which cost hundreds of millions of dollars,
right,
the market doesn't support that. Okay. However, when you're making movies like Heaven's for Real or Son of God, and the budget is only a few million, the market can support that kind of budget of films. And even Passion of the Christ was still made for a relatively not low budget, but it was not made for the hundreds of millions of dollars. Right. It was in the tens of millions of dollars. and could easily come back and make a profit.
Also,
off
to
that.
be fair, and we're what's today's date? The
6th
of September. Right now we are in the week part of.
It's the after summer
blockbuster
dip.
time, yeah, and then this is when all the crap gets released.
and or horror movies looking for the
It's
bump
not
on
January.
Halloween.
It's not January.
It's
you know,
this is
something
the
to
studio
see.
system going, hey, look, this wasn't quite ready to be released at the prime time, but it's not Oscar worthy. Here you go, make a little bit of money coming off of the. It's like
you also have movies like Straight Outta Compton that was just released. Straight Outta Compton was amazing.
But
And
that
it's
came
continuing
out-
to be number one.
that came out at the last week of the blockbuster era.
But it's
Like,
holding strong though with numbers.
Yeah, because it's good. Because it's good. I doubt War Room will do that. I doubt that, Transporter for sure will not do
we
that.
do not. Was this the 4th Transporter in the series now? This is getting ridiculous. The first Transporter wasn't that good to begin with.
With rejected Dario Naharis.
Rejected Dario Naharis.
So we were talking about this earlier today about how Transporter was funded or like under the Relativity name at one point in time.
I believe so. I
And
don't
it was-
remember. That
and
was
then-
this was like early 2000s when Transporter started.
Right, but now, so it's been released, but Relativity was just went bankrupt. So now they're just like, go wherever you want to go.
That's probably why this happened.
Right. So you got to figure out like who's picking up that money
Or someone owes taxes and they're dropping this as a loss to not owe as many taxes. That's really what the fall is for, guys. Writing off your taxes. Tell
That's
everybody.
pretty much every movie ever.
So, using that as a segue, question on that, is this what Sony plans to do? There was a 3-studio bid for the exclusive rights to the Emoji movie. And Sony won this, spending millions of dollars.
How many millions did they spend on this film?
The number was not exactly released. It's just a 7-digit figure, according to the report from Deadline.
So this is a sought-after movie.
This is
they
it. There
want
was
to
a
make
bidding war.
about
Paramount.
emojis.
Rumor is Paramount and Warner Brothers were the 2 other studios. The 3 of them were in a bidding war and ended up being millions of dollars.
Is there a script for this?
Proof of concept.
It was a pitch from the director of Kung Fu Panda: Secrets of the Masters.
Oh.
So not even the original Kung Fu. We're talking about is that the 3rd one of the series? That's like straight to video Kung Fu Panda.
I believe so. I didn't see it.
So a director who made a straight to video film got a 7-digit pitch.
Yes.
So this is actually going through.
By
Though. Like,
emojis.
this isn't like, hey, look, we just bought the pitch and that's it.
But now they have
Back
to
in
write the script.
2010, there was a Magic 8-Ball movie being pitched,
You're right.
but it never got made. Thank God.
Tetris.
This could be the same. This could be the same thing, but this is also they bought it for millions of dollars. How much do they want to say? We'll just take that as a loss.
I mean, it's not. I mean, not necessarily.
Have they done
because
that well this year? Anyway?
Sony,
No, not really.
Universal's been the one killing it this year.
Yeah, Sony has been losing money ever since their hack.
Oh,
They also have a brilliant plan. They're actually one of the few large studios that still makes several, moderately budget films.
That's what I love about Universal. They're smart about it. They're like, okay, yeah, Jurassic World aside, most of their things are like, we're gonna aim for
$40 million.
Yeah, 40 to 60 is like their average, and each film makes 100 million, 120 million. They're making money, whereas the other ones are like, we're gonna make 2 big tent poles, one of those fails, and all of a sudden they're like,
yeah.
Fantastic Four.
So why is Sony doing anything that they're doing right now? I do not understand.
The fact that Pixels came out in general, and then somebody said, like, I like the idea.
The short film
The short
was
film's great.
amazing.
I want to see the short film.
The short film is really
But
good.
who did that? Was it Adam Sandler?
No,
No.
it was not.
Then
Adam Sandler.
exactly. Get away. Walk away. Anything with Adam Sandler is just trash.
It
Like
is.
at the end of the day.
The best part about the hacks is that the executives there agree, but they still do it. It's like they say one thing and then do another thing.
Yeah. Sometimes you get so in depth though. You're like, okay, we can't really back out, but maybe if we hype
Did
it up.
Adam
enough.
Sandler like a multi-picture deal with Sony? Is that why they keep
Yes,
making
they-
films?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't. Selling a pitch is hard work, and you have to have a good idea to sell a pitch. The problem is that like whether the script comes down to it or not, and then how many.
I
writers you
have
get.
heard of an emoji script that had like these emojis above people's heads, and only that one person could see it. And which actually sounded like a really interesting concept, where this person saw emojis, so they could see everyone's emotions without actually even having to talk to them. They just saw the emojis above their
What's
heads.
that Will Ferrell movie that was like? It was where he could hear like the narration of his.
Yes.
Stranger Than Fiction.
I feel like I
Yes.
feel like with an emoji thing that you could work that well.
You could.
It has to be an exceptionally clever script. Otherwise, that sounds like a funny short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. It's a great concept that may not carry out to a feature length.
I can see that.
Money tree. Money tree.
That's what we're all thinking all the time.
Money tree.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining us here on Around the Cinema. Tune in Wednesday, same place here on YouTube, where we will be talking about Star Wars and The Night Before.